Let's bring in Adam Carolla, who is my counterpart on the West Coast. I say that because Carolla is an independent thinker. He's trapped in LA. It's like Escape from Los Angeles. He can't get out. Do you see it as the worst year since 1929 or even worse than 29?
Well, let me cheer you up with your Jets. Your Jets at 0-13 just beat my playoff bound Rams yesterday. So, yeah, it's bad. It's very bad.
So you wrote a book trying to help everybody, I know, because you're a holistic guy, called I'm Your Emotional Support Animal, Navigating Our All Woke No Joke. But you want to provide solace for the American people, Carolla. I know you do. Behind those glasses, that's what's motivating you. What do you say to people who are like on the cliff?
Well, some should jump, but to those who don't feel like jumping, I mean, everyone who's mean to me on Twitter should definitely jump if they're on the edge of that cliff. We're turning the corner. It couldn't be worse than this. We're going into 2021. Biden will be the president. So, the news outlets and the legacy news outlets will kind of take their foot off the accelerator of all of the, racism and social injustice and, suppression and all their kind of buzzwords that agitate everyone and anger everyone. Will have Biden in there. So they'll focus on, Trump's golf game.
All right, so you see a lessening in political hatred. What about COVID? Do you think the vaccine's going to mitigate it? You taking the vaccine?
I have not taken the vaccine. I will take the vaccine. The part that scares me about the vaccine is, especially living out here in Los Angeles, they keep moving the goalposts back. So first there is, we're going to lock down for 2 weeks, and then we're going to lock down for 9 months, and then we'll lock down until we get a vaccination, and then even if we get a vaccination, we still have to wear masks and social distance and don't leave your house and don't travel, which I would argue, why bother getting a vaccination if you can't leave your damn house and you can't travel? So they keep going with the narrative, no matter what piece of evidence or news comes out, such as schools. I got a couple of 14-year-old twins. They've been rotting at home for 9 months. They should be in school. No evidence suggests they shouldn't be in school. But for some reason, they're still at home because even though it's safe to go back to school and even though children are our future, somehow the teachers and their unions have decided they like getting paid to stay home better than getting up and getting dressed and showing up somewhere. And if things couldn't get worse in California, I just heard today that they moved the Rose Bowl to Texas. So the Rose Bowl game, the biggest game in college football, the granddaddy of them all, the game that's 100 years old, will now be going to Texas Stadium.
Well, California is an extreme situation. Here in New York, my kids are going to school in person. I'm not in the city. I'm like 12 miles outside of the city limits, so I have a much easier life. But when you look at the COVID, the whole thing psychologically, do we recover from this in 2021, or are people still crazed about COVID?
I think the ramifications, the longer lasting ramifications and the scary part of COVID is this. About a week ago, we had a health official from Los Angeles explain that even though there was no danger and there was no evidence that outdoor dining presented any danger in the spread of COVID, we're going to get rid of it anyway because we want everyone to stay home. And to me, that's a very slippery slope. So there's two factors. There's the fear of the populace, and that'll wane. But there's a scarier part, which is the government gathering power. And then what shall they say next? What shall be their next fiat? What shall be their next decree? I mean, according to their logic, they could say there's a lot of drunk driving accidents on New Year's Eve, so let's make an 8 p.m. curfew for New Year's Eve because we don't want people to die on the road.
All right, the government power, and I'm not a conspiracy kind of guy, as you know. It's on display in Michigan with Whitmer, in New York with Cuomo, in California with Newsom. You could see it. Absolutely. These people are just thrilled that they are the dictators. Final question. You get up to
Yes.
San Francisco a lot? You get up there?
I used to get up there quite a bit, not so much anymore because I now wear expensive shoes and I don't want to step in human fecal matter and soil them. So I stay out
You're
here
staying
in
out.
LA.
Okay.
Yes.
So you might know this, but last week the Board of Education voted 10-1 to change Abraham Lincoln High School. I don't know what the new name is going to be. I hear it might be Shecky Green High. Remember Shecky? I love Shecky.
Oh, yes.
Anyway, Abraham Lincoln's gone. The wokes got
Yes.
him in San Francisco. So, how extreme is it going to get in California? I mean, how crazy is it going to get out there?
Well, I tell people all the time, it's called the progressive movement. It has the word progress and movement right in the title. Is there anything to suggest it'll ever stop? There is no finish line, as we've proven time and time again. The stuff, think about the stuff that they're vying for in 2020, 2021. Think about if you had heard these stories 4 years ago, how insane they would have sounded. You would have been completely, and you don't have to go back 50 years or 25 years. You can go back 4 years and have someone explain to you that this group wanted to get rid of the name Abraham Lincoln from a school. You would have thought that's insane. This is some kind of farce. This is a joke. So there is no end because they don't have an end game. Their end game is change and move forward and get rid of everything that's old. Anything that existed in America, Christmas, holidays, yes, get rid of it
It's
all.
modeled from Mao Zedong's Cultural Revolution. That's exactly where it came from. So poor Abe. But I'm not going to San Francisco, Carolla, and I'm discouraging you from going to the city by the bay. I want you to have a Merry Christmas. I know you're an unbeliever, but it's federal holiday, Carolla. You don't have to work.
No.
You know, and it's thanks to Jesus, man. It's thanks to him. You know that.
I will heap praise on the Almighty on Thanksgiving.
All right.
Oh, wait, on Christmas. Thanks, Bill.
Hey, Bill O'Reilly here. As you all know, the dollar is at a 10-year low, and November could spell real trouble. That's why I recommend you consider physical gold and silver, and the only company I do business with in this area is American Hartford Gold. You can call them right now. Make sure you tell them Bill O'Reilly sent you, and they'll give you a free gold coin on your first qualified order. Since I have been recommending American Hartford Gold, gold's up over 40%, silver over 60%. So please don't wait. Call them now. 877-444-GOLD Gold. 877-444-GOLD Gold, or text GOLD to 65532.